This is Dave Stanton for Carbatec. Operation and safety. Unplug the machine from the power supply if you're going to change the belt or the disc or perform any maintenance on the machine. To change the belt on the belt sander section, there is no need to remove the workpiece table or the backstop. What you do need to do, we'll rotate it around this way, is you need to release the tension on the belt. Now this is working on a cam, so it can go 360, makes no difference, right the way around. But you do need, I'll show you here, you do need to release this lock nut knob that's on the side there before doing that. So we'll release that, we'll turn it around, and then we have these 4 knobs on the back, which is the guard to stop you catching your hand on the belt. So we undo these. I've done a bit of a head start on it. I've undone them a little bit prior to putting the camera on. Take off the guard, very easy, put that to the side. And now we have the belt released. It's a simple matter of slide the belt. I'll come around this side. Off the machine. That's pretty easy. Okay, now on the inside, you'll notice that there are directional arrows on the belt. Now the belt must travel in that direction, and I'll show you here. Just here you'll see the direction that the machine is going to be rotating. So your drive cylinder and your idler cylinder, that's the direction it's going to be going. To replace the belt, it's a matter of just going that process in reverse. Very, very easy. So I'm going to line up the direction of the belt with the arrows facing down to the front. I will slide the belt under there slightly and then across the top. There we go. Now you'll notice here at the same time you've got that graphite pad which really assists. Okay, I've got that there and I'm going to tension that. Easy. That's how you change a belt. How to adjust the tracking on the machine. The tracking, sounds like the Kraken. How to adjust the tracking of the belt on the machine. Now the belt I have left in its oscillation modes, which means it's going to be tracking left and right, left and right. And that's how we want to do it. If I had it set to just tracking in one position, I may get it wrong. Now to do that, use a small Allen key or similar in the side here. There's 4 holes in the adjusting nut here. We can rotate that adjusting nut clockwise or counterclockwise. Now there's one on this side and one on the other side. The important thing here to do is to make sure that this is relaxed. When the belt is in tension, it's not slipping at all, but it's not too tight. We are going to work on one side only, and I'm going to purposely take it off correct tracking and then readjust it back. I'll need eye and ear protection. I'm not doing any sanding, so I don't need to protect my lungs at this stage. I'm going to turn it on and it will make a noise. The other thing is, don't leave anything on this table either that might catch on the disc as it's spinning while we're concentrating on this area. You'll see the drum being exposed on either side of the belt as it's oscillating backwards and forwards. I'll come around to this side and I will adjust this nut. Now it's tracking that way too far. That's only a quarter of a rotation. So it's tracking, exposing a lot more of the drum there and coming back to still leaving some of that drum exposed. So I'm going to take it back. And now it's covering. I need to do it just that little bit more. That's looking better already. That's excellent. Now I can lock it and turn it off. What's happening there is, as we adjust the nut on the rods that support the drums, this is the idler drum, as we're pushing this rod up further, lifting this drum, the belt is going to try and climb to the highest point of the drum. So as we relax this side, the other side is becoming the higher point. It's the same principle as the oscillator is working. It is raising and lowering this side of the idler drum, and the belt is wanting to climb to the highest point. Right, next thing is the disc. How do you change the disc? We'll spin it around this way. We should really replace this guard straight away as well. This all assists, the guard also assists in your dust extraction. So it goes with the curve facing down and the wider section of the guard near the top. And we're good to go with the belt sander. Now, the disc sander, I'll come around the other side. The disc sander has got two heavy-duty trunnions, one either side. We're not going to take the workpiece table and trunnion off. We're going to take the workpiece table off the trunnion. So we need to use an Allen key for that. So down here are 5/16 by 1 inch socket head bolts, and there is one on either side for us to release the workpiece table off the trunnions. Table off. How easy is that? And then we have 4 more socket head bolts there that we use the smaller Allen key supplied, and we'll take that off. I'm not going to do that, but you can see where we're going with that. Then we peel the paper away from the Velcro pad, and then when we're putting the new paper on, make sure that it's positioned so that it's going to be an equal distance all the way around the Velcro pad. I'll pop this back on. It's very easy. One of the other great things, while I've got it off there, is that these trunnions, their center of rotation is about 1/16 or about 2 millimeters in front of the sandpaper on the disc, which means as it rotates down to 45 degrees or -20 degrees, you will find that the gap between the paper and the back of this is always constant. Very, very, very clever. Pop him back on. And then just the final nip at the end. The holes in the trunnion mount to the workpiece table are slightly larger than the bolts that are going through it. So you can adjust the table backwards and forwards 1 millimeter or 2. If you have it all the way back, it's going to touch the paper, and that's no good. You need to bring it forwards so you still have that 2 millimeters clearance. Getting started. Wear close-fitting protective clothing. If you have long hair, make sure it's contained. I don't. Locate and ensure you are familiar with all of the machine's operations and controls. Check the path of the workpiece for clearance and obstructions when feeding your workpiece over the machine. So if this was laid down flat, I would look out there and out this side. Before turning the sander on, check for loose fasteners, fittings or hardware, and be sure the dust ports are properly secured. Make sure the work area has ample lighting and no obstructions that will interfere with the safe use of the machine, and that nothing is sitting on the sanding belt, particularly when it's down in the horizontal position. It is advisable to wear hearing protection, dust mask and eye protection when using this machine. Always use dust protection when operating the sander and be aware of fine dust that may be created. Some examples of hazardous dusts are dust generated from sanding timber coated with lead-based paints, arsenic and chromium from some chemically treated timber, and timber that may have crystalline silica embedded or dusted on the surface. Now here's a tip. You may want to make a boxed section that will fit over the top of the disc sander if you're going to be using the belt sander a lot. This will reduce the possibility of someone bumping into a spinning disc, and the other thing you could do is remove the abrasive from the disc so that only the Velcro is there. Present your workpiece to the left-hand side of the spinning disc. It turns this direction, not the right-hand side. This will stop the workpiece being involuntarily lifted up off the workpiece table. Using the miter gauge will assist in maintaining the desired angle and also resist your workpiece catching. Support the workpiece adequately at all times during the operation. Keep the machine tables clean and free from things such as resin and gum, as this may restrict the movement of the workpiece on the table. When in the horizontal position, never stand directly in line with the direction of the belt sander. Stand off to one side. Now this might seem obvious, but never put your fingers inside the dust chute or against the sandpaper when it's in motion. Do not operate the machine while under the influence of alcohol, drugs, or any medication. Always stay alert. Do not allow familiarity gained from frequent use of the machine to cause careless mistakes. Avoid distractions that will take your focus away from concentrating on the machining task. Never leave the machine unattended whilst it's running. After use, clean the machine down. For spare parts and abrasives, please contact Carbatec via phone or email. Thanks for watching.